Creighton women's basketball is back in the AP rankings, but we're not going to talk about that, even though they're number 22, because we have two Nebraska teams in the Sweet 16 NCAA volleyball tournament. But welcome to
Yes.
Field Sports Podcast puts women first. I'm Josie, and here with Amber, and we are super excited, to have two teams. Did you
Yes.
expect that?
It's so awesome. I can't say that I expected it. I mean, obviously, we said it last week. We expected the Huskers to kind of blow through their first two rounds, and they did very well.
We did.
Uh and we did, I believe we did say that Creighton was going to make it to the second round, and then they were
Then we were like iffy.
yeah, it was definitely a toss up. Obviously, they had a chance.
Yeah,
But I
no,
think we expected Mizzou, right? To
Missouri, Minnesota,
Minnesota.
Missouri
Jeez,
playing
Mizzou was
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Yeah,
That's
Minnesota. We expected them to be a little tougher.
I will say that like for the second and third set, for the latter half of the second set, I suppose, and then
Mhm.
all of the third set, I was like, oh my gosh, is Minnesota gonna come? Pull the
Mhm.
reverse sweep? Like, is that where this is headed?
Mhm.
Please don't do that because I was doing the live updates for Creighton.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing is, it wasn't Minnesota didn't lose the game. Like Creighton beat them.
Creighton beat them. Minnesota clearly wanted it. Not to
Yes.
That wasn't super clear in like the first set, but definitely the
Hmm.
second and the third, I was like, oh no, what is
Yes.
happening here? Like,
Yes. But I
like
mean, getting a sweep of Minnesota to go to the Sweet 16, like,
no.
how fun for the Blue Jays.
Oh, so great. And now they get to go take on Louisville. Um,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
that's such a hard match.
Right. I mean, okay, they're a two seed, they're seventh ranked. I mean, granted, I mean, they swept Western Michigan to make it, and I don't follow Western Michigan, but I think if Western Michigan had a bigger presence, I would have paid a little bit more attention to them.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of hoping that the Cardinals go in with like a false sense of security. Just
Yeah.
to, I mean, Creighton's going to come out. I'm trying to think of non hard, just hard. You know they are.
No, they got momentum. Like this is exciting.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
everybody's healthy for once. Like
Yes, which clutch. Um, they also just extended um, a win streak to 17 straight matches.
mhm.
So that's, I mean, you talk about momentum, that's pretty cool. And it's only their third time going to the Sweet 16. So,
Yeah.
these girls really want to make history.
Hmm. I would love to see them in the Elite Eight. Uh,
Yes. Oh my gosh, how fun would that be?
that'd be so exciting. Not really sure that we will. It's kind of hard to fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Louisville hit over 300 in each set of their match against Western Michigan.
Yeah,
That, I mean, Creighton's just going to have to bring like really solid D
yeah.
to have a shot.
They're gonna have to bring like peak level game across the
Hmm.
board. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm hoping to see that. Really am. I'm
Hmm.
like fingers
They
crossed.
hit 255, so it's not like they had bad hitting in their
No,
second round game.
no, and like they like had hitting from it. Everyone had a
Everyone.
decent night. Not great. I wouldn't say anyone had like a phenomenal night necessarily,
Right.
but like everyone had a pretty decent night. It was very
Mhm.
balanced. If they can do that and just kind of like up it maybe like a little bit, they're definitely
Mhm.
a chance. So
Yeah. So it's gonna be a fun one. So finally the games are on TV. So
yes,
this
thank
is
God.
ESPN2 on Thursday, but at 11 a.m. Central Time.
I'm okay with that. I mean,
I
it's
mean, it
not
works for me.
that prime time, but like Nebraska's isn't exactly prime time either.
It's
Um,
yeah.
they're at one,
It's
right?
a
Yeah.
yes, they are. but again, ESPN2, so it's on TV, much easier to find. You can, of course, stream it if you aren't around a television and you're sitting at your desk and want to make your boss think that you're doing work, you can stream it. So
Yeah,
you
especially if
just
you
will have
caved.
to have an
I
ESPN.
did.
Yeah,
I caved and got ESPN Plus.
exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be a good one. I think Creighton will pull out something solid, and hopefully, like you said, if they keep it balanced and spread around, nobody has to be an outstanding like star and dominate, as long as everybody plays at a high level. And I
Yeah.
think they have a shot at moving on. I'm not going to be shocked if Louisville eliminates them.
No, I won't be shocked. But like at least they got to like go somewhere, you know?
Yes,
Like
yes.
it's nice to host, obviously, but like
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean
get the full tournament feel.
the full tournament feel. And just like when you're all American hitter missed like
Hmm.
11, was it like 11, 14? I don't even remember how many matches she missed. She
Yeah.
missed so much of the season and you still are kind of getting that full experience. That's amazing
Hmm.
in itself.
Hmm.
That being said, I really would love to see them win.
Yes, agreed.
See them win. Um, on the other side of things, there's Nebraska who beat
Yes.
Mizzou. And I think we said last week, I don't know if you said it or I said it, but we were like, if they're going to lose a set, it's going to be the third. And let me tell you about that third set. I was like,
Mm.
are we prophetic? Like,
Right,
I was so
same.
worried.
Yeah. Well, luckily that wasn't, something we had to worry about. They got a
No.
good sweep. They're going to be taking on Georgia Tech, and then whoever wins that game, we'll pretend it's the Huskers for now. They're going to take on either Arkansas or Kentucky. So it's that. I think I don't want them to look ahead to that match.
No. And like, you don't know who's going to win that one. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, I would put my money on Kentucky, but Arkansas is still really good. So,
Hmm. I mean, they're the 2-3 seed, so it like makes sense that that's going to be a tough one. But I mean, I think the Huskers can get past Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech will obviously put up a fight, but
mhm.
I'm I think a big part. I said this. I'm pretty sure I said this last week, but I think in order to get past Georgia Tech and then past either Arkansas or Kentucky, it's again the middles. Like they need to get a little bit more involved.
Mhm.
Um, I think, oh yeah, the stat was Andy Jackson and Becca Alec. They only had a combined 18 attacks against Mizzou. And obviously that didn't hurt the
Yeah.
Huskers, but getting them more can only help. And I think that that's going to be a big like factor in them moving on.
Well, I feel like we've seen more of Maggie Mendelson
True.
in the tournament, and I'm wondering if like maybe that is part of it. That being said, if she's coming in to spark something, she hasn't been playing much in the regular season, so I don't really know what's going on. I haven't heard anything about Lindsay Krause coming back. Obviously, not a middle, but that
Mm-hmm.
would be fantastic for them if
Yeah.
she could play some of it. I think that would.
Mm-hmm. It'd be nice even if she could just dress and just use her like break in case of emergency to keep getting her some rest. I mean, I think
Mhm.
I said that last week too, but a lot of things just kind of carry on, in my opinion.
I mean, obviously, it's not her like prime skill set, but even if she could just come in to serve, like
Hmm.
I mean, obviously
Hmm.
you have to do things after the serve, and like maybe that's the concern, which I assume is the concern. But
Right.
I think that could be really emotionally uplifting for that team. And sometimes I like during third sets in particular, I'm
Hmm.
kind of like, I don't know if they get tired or what's going on, but it seems to be like all season they kind of just drift in that third set, even if they've like lost a set at that point, because they've lost first set
Hmm.
and it's still like third set. I'm like, what? Not every,
Right.
but like most of the time, I'm like, what's going on, you guys? You're getting
Hmm.
tired. Like you've gone 5 sets, you won 5 sets, obviously. Like beat Wisconsin in 5 sets, but like
Yes.
and Penn
Yeah.
State.
There's that. Yeah. that was definitely watching the Huskers when it got to that third set, and it was like, ooh, like, what do you expect? I mean, it didn't help. What was it? The first set that they started out 7-0, or was
Yeah,
it the second? Yeah. And
they
so
the
I'm
first.
like, you start out that hot at the beginning, and then when there's that little dip, and you're like, I mean, a dip. This is still some of the best volleyball you can
It's so
see.
and like, but like the thing is too is like it seems like in the third set they get out of system a lot. They still manage
Hmm.
to win it. Like they're playing really really good, really
Yeah.
well.
Hmm. If
But
they could
like
fire on all cylinders for 3 sets straight,
I
I
think that's
mean,
what
it
they
could
need. I
be.
think if they want to get to the final four, they're going to somehow have to figure out their third set issues
Hmm.
uh now. Like right
Right.
now. Like
Yes. Yes.
because if you take the first two, even if you take the first two, if you give them momentum in the third, if you give your opponent momentum
Hmm.
in the third, these are all elite teams at this point. Like this is the
Right.
top 16. If you give them any momentum, like it's like give an inch, take a mile. You're gonna give them a set, and they're gonna take the whole freaking match.
Hmm.
Not
Yes.
necessarily, but like these all of these teams at this point are very possible, especially if they face Kentucky. Like I know
Hmm.
that like they played Kentucky right earlier this season, or am I thinking of Creighton?
Yeah. No, I believe you're
I
right.
think they did, and it was like because the point when I watched Kentucky last, they were a completely different team, and like, and I mean that like completely a different team. Yes, they
Hmm.
played on
They did. Yes.
yeah, in the fourth.
September.
Yeah,
Fourth
and they
set
took a set
battle.
off of
Yes.
them then. And like Arkansas, if that's who they happen to face, also an elite team. Like
Hmm.
you gotta get past Georgia Tech, obviously.
Yeah. It should be the Elite 16 this year, because it's just like all of like everybody who's in, if you look at it, because obviously Nebraska side of the bracket, Nebraska and Georgia Tech, Arkansas and Kentucky, and then down in Creighton's little corner, Louisville, Creighton, Wazoo, Pitt, and then on the other side, Stanford, Arizona State, Texas, Tennessee, Oregon, Purdue,
Yeah,
Penn State, Wisconsin. I mean, obviously you expect at this point everyone to be awesome, but
yeah,
those teams, I mean, the only one that someone might be like, oh, really, is probably Washington State, and they're a 4 seed.
yeah, and they're really good. Like even if you're
Mm-hmm.
like doubting it, you're like,
Yep.
shouldn't be. Like,
Exactly. You shouldn't be.
but you've got all
So,
the like perennial powers, it feels like in there. Like you've got the Stanford,
mm-hmm.
you've got the Texas, you've got the Nebraska, the Wisconsin, like
Wisconsin, Penn
Penn
State.
State.
Yeah.
like,
Louisville. I mean,
like I'm so glad these are on TV because this is just going to be such a good weekend of matches. Like
yes.
this played out so well. Like they should all
Mm-hmm.
be really competitive. Even
Mm-hmm.
if they don't go five, I think they still will all be pretty competitive.
I agree. So listeners, I'm on vacation,
Yeah,
and I'm out
she's
with
in
my.
Hawaii.
Yes, I
I'd
am. I'm
like to
looking at palm
remind
trees.
everyone it's 40 degrees right now in Omaha, if that.
It's 76 here, and it's only 9:20 a.m. But my friends and I were that I'm staying with. I grew up here, so vaccine friends. We were trying to figure out what we're doing the rest of the week, and obviously they're working, and so I'm trying to figure out ways to entertain myself. And oh darn, have to go to the beach. But we were trying to figure it out, and I was like, well, I got to plan. Like Saturday we're figuring stuff out because we're going to concert Saturday night, and I'm like, well, volleyball is on, and they're like, what? And they're huge volleyball fans. I mean, they have tickets. They go see University of Hawaii play,
Yeah,
who did
Hawaii's
very
good.
well. They beat my Cyclones. But so we're talking, and they're like, well, I won't say what they said about who they want to win, but we're literally planning days around making sure we get to see the matches. And I'm like, works for me. Works for me. These are my people.
That's what you should be doing. That's how
Exactly. And I'm
everyone should
just
be
like,
planning their weekend.
yes, completely agree. So the early morning games don't bother me too much because I can lay in bed and watch them on my iPad.
I'll be at
Not
work.
that you guys cared. I just felt the need to share that.
Yeah.
But yeah, one last note on the Huskers. 6 were named to the AVCA Volleyball's All North Regional team, which is pretty awesome. And then Merritt Beeson was named North Region Player of the Year. Harper Murray was named North Region Freshman of the Year. And shocker, John Cook was named the Region Coach of the Year for the 6th time in his career. So fitting for the number 1 team.
Yes. Creighton also was honored in that, and we totally missed that talking about it. For the, oh my gosh, I cannot remember what region they are in.
East?
That sounds right. Yes, the East region. Thank you. Kristen Bernthal Booth was the coach, and then Kiana Schmidt, Kendra Waite, and Eva Martin were recognized to the all region team. So,
which is just, yeah, we've got 2 very impressive squads out of the state.
And that means them being honored means that they are like available or qualify basically to potentially become an All-American. So got a nice amount that could make it. So that'll be good.
Yes,
oh, and Nebraska leads the nation in All-Americans. I don't remember what the number is. It's really high. I have to look it up every year, and one would think I would know, but I don't remember. But yes, they lead the nation.
Whew. So we are all set. Obviously, next week we'll be talking more volleyball, and guys, we will try to get some basketball in for you. We are not forgetting basketball has started and is going on, but I mean, the volleyball tournament, it's the national tournament, so we gotta really pay attention to that and talk about it a lot.
Mm-hmm. And we know, like Creighton, we know they're back in the rankings, like I started.
First thing
Nebraska, we know Nebraska's playing really well. Yeah. And we have NET rankings now available. We can break that down another time. We just, having 2 teams in the Sweet 16 is such a big deal. It would be such a miss
if we didn't focus. Yes.
time on that. That being said, we did have our All Nebraska volleyball come out this past weekend on Sunday. You can check out that whole spread photo shoot, I don't know what you want to call it, online in omaha.com. They're also Dylan Adams interviewed the players on the Prep Zone podcast. So you can also basically see that wherever podcasts are available. But yeah, other than that, we got a whole bunch of volleyball coming, so that is kind of the story.
Yes, keep checking omaha.com. Josie, are you doing the live updates during the games this week?
Yes, I am doing Creighton, and Dylan Adams will be doing Nebraska, I believe. That might be flip-flop, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to do. So
sounds good.
So check that out.
You guys are paying attention.
And thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.